Hey Dragonflies, it's time for another lesson with Mr. Madsen. Today we're going to start some lessons that are called second step lessons. And specifically today's lesson is going to be about our feelings. But before we start the lesson, we're just going to do a quick review about Kelso. Remember, Kelso helps us solve problems. He says there's two kinds of problems, small problems and big problems. Small problems we're smart enough and we're strong enough emotionally to solve on our own, using his wheel with 9 ways to solve problems. But big problems are scary and they're dangerous. And for a big problem, we have to get help from an adult we trust. Even adults who face a big problem have to get help from adults they trust. All right, Dragonflies, we're going to talk about our feelings. And so, you might recognize this feeling. She looks happy. You're right. She's smiling and she's looking up. She looks happy. He looks, if you guess sad, you're right. He's got a frown and he's looking down. He looks sad. He looks mad. Yeah, if you guessed mad, you're right. Look at his hands. Look at his face. I don't know what happened. Either on the playground or at home or at the park, something happened that made him really angry. Take a look at this picture. This is Andy. Can you tell how he's feeling? If you guessed scared, you're right. The water droplets on the window are a clue to see how he feels. He's scared of a storm, thunder and lightning. How about this picture? Do you see the clues? Her mouth is open, her eyes are really bright. That's right, if you guessed surprised, she can't believe she got that gift. She's surprised at this gift. This one's a little harder because you can't quite see her face. But she walked out onto the playground and she stepped in somebody's gum that somebody spit out. And she's disgusted. Yeah. And she's pulling the gum out with her hand. She's pulling it off her shoe with her hand. That is disgusting and gross. So now I want you to watch a video about our feelings and how our feelings can be like something that you're really familiar with. Take a look.
Today we're going to learn about emotions, feelings, and moods. We're going to learn where they come from, what they look like, and what to do when you have them. Have any of you ever had a feeling?
Mad, sad, happy.
Wow, you guys already know a lot of feelings. Are there any others?
Frustrated, bored, excited, anxious, tired, proud.
You can have different feelings throughout the day because they change, just like the weather changes. It can be sunny in the morning, windy in the afternoon, and rainy at night.
Will I always notice that I'm feeling something?
No, Jack, sometimes we don't even notice our feelings.
Like it's a sunny day and you don't even notice the weather.
So, this is what we already know. We all have feelings, all the time, even when we don't know we're having feelings. Feelings are part of us just like the weather's part of the world. And they can change just like the weather changes. Okay, big question. Is it okay to have feelings?
Maybe.
Is it okay to be a sunny day?
Yes.
Well, of course it is. And if feelings for us are like the weather for the world, is it okay to have feelings?
Yes.
Is it okay to have strong or stormy feelings?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is it okay to have strong weather, like a super stormy day?
Yes.
And if feelings for us are just like the weather for the world, is it okay to have strong feelings?
Yes.
Exactly. We all have strong feelings. Feelings are simply how we respond to things that happen to us. Does anyone actually know where we have feelings?
Here?
Here.
Here?
Here.
Here.
Here!
Well, you're all a little correct. That's why feelings are so hard to figure out. They sort of happen in your head, but kind of everywhere else too.
So, if feelings are everywhere, let's see what feelings look like.
If feelings are everywhere, what do they look like?
Yeah, what do they look like? I'm confused.
Well, Vivian, you look confused. Your face is what feeling confused looks like. Oh, now you look happy to me. Oh, now you look mad. You guys have lots of feelings, and you're showing them on your faces. Other people can understand what you're feeling just by looking at your face.
You mean like this?
He's sad. He's happy.
Or this?
He's bored.
You guys are reading faces, just like reading your ABCs.
Have you ever thought about our feelings being like the weather? If we're happy and content, we might be sunny. If we're sad, we might feel like it's rainy. If we're angry, that's like lightning or a storm coming. And if we're scared, that also might be like a storm cloud. Worried could be ice and snow. Embarrassed is like the wind. Shocked could be a mixture of a bunch of things. Big clouds, thunder and lightning, rain. And confused can feel like a whirlwind, like a tornado. Sometimes thinking about the weather helps us understand our feelings better. The weather just happens, and that's how our feelings respond. Our feelings are just our bodies responding to what's happened to us. And that's like the weather. And of course, with our feelings, we need to have ways to calm down. So this first one, belly breathing. We've all done that before, breathing in through our nose, holding for at least 3 seconds, and then out through our mouth. We call that belly breathing. And we're filling up our belly with air, okay? We want to make sure we take deep breaths, not shallow breaths, but deep breaths. There's also balloon breaths. These, we might use our hands to show how big the balloon is. And then when we let the air out, we bring our hands in. And then we have faucet breaths, and that one is where we have our fists out in front of us. And when we take in air, we close our fists, and then we let it out. We make the sound of like a faucet. The air coming out. And the last one is one of my favorites, and that's hot cocoa. You smell the cocoa, but it's too hot to drink, so you blow on it to cool it down. Hot cocoa is a way to use our breathing to calm ourselves down when we're having those strong feelings. Take a look at this picture. This is Teresa. Can you tell what she was doing in class? There's a hint on the table. That's right. She was painting. And can you see what happened? If you notice that the paint bucket fell over and the paint is getting on her picture, you're absolutely right. How might you feel about this? You've been working on a painting, you're really proud of it, and all of a sudden the paint spills and ruins it. Notice Teresa, she's got her hand on her belly. What do you think she's doing because of this accident? Yeah, she's using belly breathing to calm down because this paint spilled on her picture and she was really upset. Now, there's lots of ways. Once she calms down, then she's able to think about what she could do to solve this problem. It might be as simple as just wipe the paint off and hope that it doesn't ruin the picture. It might be paint another picture. I don't know. Take a look at this picture. Here's Jacob and Shauna. It's time to go out to recess. Jacob and Shauna are friends, and Jacob went and got the class ball, and he's ready to go. But can you tell what the problem is? Yeah, Shauna was playing with blocks, and when the recess bell rang and it was time to go out to recess, she's supposed to clean up before she goes out. Can you tell how she's feeling? If you thought overwhelmed, you're absolutely right. She doesn't know this is such a big job to clean up, and she doesn't know what to do. She wants to go out and play with her friend Jacob, but she's got to put away all these blocks. It feels like a big problem, but I know all of you know this is a small problem, right? There are lots of ways she could handle this problem. She could just take a deep breath and let it out slowly and just start stacking blocks. It's a lot of blocks, but it's not that many, and I don't think it would take that long. And maybe because Jacob's her friend, she could ask him, "Hey, would you help me pick these blocks up so we can both go outside together?" I bet being a good friend, he would probably do that. Here we have two boys, Mario and Miguel. Mario is in the light sweatshirt, almost white. It might be gray because it's a black and white picture. I don't know. And Miguel is in the dark sweatshirt. What feelings do you think they're having? If you think Mario is feeling scared or worried, you're absolutely right. He doesn't necessarily like climbing trees. He only did it because Mario asked him to, and they're friends. How do you think Miguel is feeling? That's right. He's excited. Look, he's looking up. His mouth is open. I think he likes climbing trees. How can two friends have different feelings about the same thing? Is that possible? Yeah, we all have different feelings about different things that we can do. Mario doesn't necessarily like climbing. Maybe it's because he climbed once before and he fell out and he got hurt. Or maybe he just doesn't like heights. Miguel, he likes climbing, and even if he's fallen out of a tree before, he still likes climbing and getting as high as he can. Yeah, two friends can have the same activity but have different reactions or feelings to it, just like all of us. Our feelings are how we react to what's happened to us, just like the weather. Take a look at this picture. This is Teresa and John. Teresa was playing with her friends. She was playing tag. John was playing foursquare in the playground. Teresa was running and not watching where she was going, and she ran into John and knocked him down. Can you tell what happened? Yeah, John got hurt. Do you see how he's holding his wrist? Yeah, he got hurt, and he thought she did it on purpose. But Teresa knows that it's an accident. What do you think Teresa could do to let John know that it was an accident? And how could she help make this better? If you thought she could say sorry and that she could help him into the nurse's office, you thought exactly right. Yeah, Teresa should apologize for not watching where she was going, and she should help John if he needs help to get to someone like an adult who can help him with this problem. Good job. Okay, here we have Matt. And it's time for recess. Matt got his jacket, but how does he look? Does he look happy for recess? Not so much, right? Yeah, his teacher asked a couple of his friends or classmates to help her set up the science project after recess. Matt really wanted to stay in and help, but his teacher said, "No, you can go outside." She already had 2 people to help her. How do you think he feels? Mad? Disappointed? If you thought those 2 feelings, you're exactly right. So Matt needs to do that deep breathing that we talked about in order to calm himself down and be able to be okay with not being able to be the teacher's helper this time. We don't always get to be exactly what we want to be or do in the time that we want to do it. Doesn't mean it won't happen. And I'm sure his teacher would remember that he wanted to help and give him a time in the future. But this time he has to be disappointed and be able to move on. And that's not easy. But if we do our deep breathing and calm down and go and focus on something fun, that'll help us get through that. All right, dragonflies. Today we learned a lot about our feelings. So after watching this video, I want you to complete the Flipgrid activity. Have fun and stay safe, and remember to use your breathing to calm those feelings down. See you later.